Morning, everyone, or afternoon, whenever you're seeing this. Miss Worth, Annie, say hi, Annie. Annie and I, coming to you with our 5th week of the remote learning instruction. And this week, what we're going to talk about a little bit is percentages. We dealt with percentages a little bit last week with net pay, something that we've dealt with other times in class too, so you've seen these quite a bit. I won't play the song today. I know you guys love that song, but I won't play it. But there's 2 different ways to kind of teach percentages, and I told you guys to do it whatever way you feel more comfortable. Again, we're trying to find a percent of a number, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we go through our examples. So whenever you need to find a percent of a number, say 7%, which is our sales tax in New York State, you're going to change that percent to a decimal, which we all know that to change that to a decimal, we go to the left, to the left. I'm not going to sing for you today either. I didn't warm up at all, so I won't sing for you today. But you know how my singing voice is. It's amazing. So to the left, this would be 0.07%. Again, as I talked about, it was 2 weeks ago now. Does that 0 have to be in front? No, not necessarily. If you look at the worksheet that I'm going to attach, they also have this formula, percent over 100 equals part over whole. You are more than welcome to use that formula. I feel like some questions that you might have to answer through this packet might be easier to use this formula. Some of them might be easier for you just to change your percent to a decimal and multiply. So whatever works best for you. And again, don't forget, if you have any questions at all, don't forget to email me, message me on Google Meets or on Google Classroom or anything. The other question that I actually had today from a student that was a really good one in one of the Google Meets that we did was, I go through the example problems with you, and they're asking, do we have to fill those out for a grade? The problems that I go through with you, you do not have to fill out, okay? Maybe it's good for you to write them down and follow along with, so you get an idea of what we're doing, but I'm not grading those. You will see on every single assignment that I assign, there's example problems that I go through with you, and then there's practice problems. You are responsible for the practice problems, just so you know. Okay, so if we look at our examples, the first one says, what is 8.5% as a decimal? We know this, we've done this. Changing a percent to a decimal. To the left, to the left. All right, I guess I'll say. But over twice. All right, so as a decimal, I got this 0.0845. Again, this is something that we've talked about quite a bit, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, our second question is, what is 20% of $72? Say you're getting 20% of $72. Well, how much money are you getting? Important to know, right? Again, you could easily plug this into this formula, all right? If you want to, percent over 100. So 20 is your percent over 100 equals your part. Your part would be how much you're receiving, correct? Yeah, so that would be our part over our whole, which is 72. All right? Again, I've shown some examples of this. Cross multiply and solve that way. The other way that I teach you is change your percent to a decimal. 20% as a decimal. I'm pretty sure it would be 0.2 or 0.20. Okay? Change your percent to a decimal and then just multiply. So I would take 0.20 and multiply that by 72. Again, that's finding 20% of $72. And when you multiply that, I got $14. Actually, I got 14.40. But again, make sure you always label. We're talking about money here. All right, you want to receive that cash. You don't want to receive bananas, do you, as payment? So put your dollar sign. Okay? Again, if you have any questions or want any more clarification on doing it this way, let me know. More than happy to show you. Number 3, okay? It says Amazon sells Black & Decker pressure cookers for $31.34. If taxes are 7% and shipping is free, awesome, how much will the total cost be for the pressure cooker? With these word problems, the biggest thing that you want to look at is what is the question actually asking, okay? Our final answer that we want here says, what is the total cost? So, at the end, we need to figure out what our total cost is. All right, we're going to buy a pressure cooker for this much. And we've talked about this before too, especially with going to buy sweaters or sneakers or anything. It says a certain price. When you get to the cash register, does it give you that specific price? No, it adds taxes on top of it. So what we need to figure out is, what is 7% of the amount of our pressure cooker? Okay? So again, in order to figure out a percent of a number, change your percent to a decimal. To the left, to the left. Pretty sure that as a decimal would be 0.07. Okay? Change it to a decimal and then do what? Multiply. Some of you want to say divide. Go ahead and try to divide and see what you get and see if that answer makes sense. Okay? Remember, I tell you all the time, take your time, do your steps, look back and see if your answer makes sense. If you divide, your answer will not make sense, I promise. Okay? So take your 0.07 times $31.34 and multiply. Okay? When I multiply those, I got a total of $2.19. Again, here's where we stop for a minute. Are we done? Would it make sense that our total cost is $2.19? Any store that believes that, buy from them, okay? That is just what's added on in our taxes. So we have our original price of our pressure cooker, plus what we have to pay in taxes, and we put those together to get our total cost, okay? So I took my price of my pressure cooker, plus my taxes, I added them together to get my total cost of $33.50. All right, so again, I believe that number 3 is actually one of the more intricate ones that we're going to do. As far as how many steps you have to make, just make sure you read the question, you're looking at it, and you're trying to figure out what it's actually asking. So for number 4 actually makes it a little bit more simple. Okay? It says, let's suppose your salary is $21,580 a year. You decide to put 11.8% of it away in savings account, which remember I told you it's always good. Whether you can put $1 away, $5 away, $20 away. Remember that a savings account accrues interest, so it's good. How much will you put away? Okay? So for number 4, we know that we make $21,580 a year. Okay? And we are putting away 11.8%. So what we really need to do is figure out what 11.8% of this number is. In order to figure out 11.8% of this number, we have to change that percent to a what? To a decimal and multiply. So, to the left. When I change that to a decimal, I have 0.118. Okay? Now I can multiply my two numbers. I take my $21,580 and I multiply it by 0.118. When I multiplied those two, I got $2,546.44. Okay? Again, what is this question actually asking? It's asking how much am I putting away? What is 11.8% of this number? Did I answer that question right here? Yeah. I'm actually done with that answer. All right, that is my final answer. So, if we look at number 5, number 5 is talking about students. I was thinking about you guys when I wrote this one. I miss you guys. So it says, out of the 20 students in horticulture program, 35% of them are interested in owning a business in the future. How many students are actually interested in owning a business? So again, we have 20 students, and we have the fact that 35% of them are interested. Again, read the question, okay? Figure out what I have to answer. How far do I have to go? So if I know that 35% of these 20 students are interested, all I have to do is figure out what 35% of 20 is. Okay? So again, in order to figure out percent of a number, I take this percent and I change it to a decimal. To the left, to the left. When I change that to a decimal, I got 0.35. Now that I change it to a decimal, I can multiply. So I have my 20 students times my 0.35. And when I multiply that, I got a whole 7. Okay? So when I multiply that, I get 7. What am I talking about though? 7 bananas, 7 gorillas, 7 ducks. We're talking about students, correct? So when I actually put it in my answer key, I wrote down 7 students. Who knows? Maybe 7 ducks are interested in horticulture. They got plants, they got water, they got all that kind of stuff. Okay? So those are the examples that I gave you. The one thing I want to talk about really quick is one of the questions on your practice. It's actually number 2. If you look at your practice, number 2 on your practice asks you something a little bit different. Number 2 on your practice, you might be more comfortable with setting up with percent over 100 equals part over whole. But at the same time, you can set up the same way that I've been teaching you, okay? Every time we multiply here, our whole is this number, and we're looking for our part. So for number 2 on your practice, if you look at it, it says you're traveling from Albany to New York City. You've traveled 120 miles, which is 80% of your trip. Based on this information, calculate how many miles the total trip is from Albany to New York City, okay? So we know it's 80% of our trip. And we also know so far we've gone 120 miles. But again, our miles is our part. That's not our whole, okay? So anytime we know that we need to change our percent to a decimal, to the left, I got 0.80%, or I'm sorry, 0.80 is a decimal, not a percent. And I don't know my total miles. So how I set this one up, I'm not going to solve it for you, but I'll set it up for you. As I said, okay, I don't know my total miles. But I know it's 80%, all right, or is a decimal, 0.80. And I know that I partially traveled 120. Okay, here it is set up. Get that x by itself. That 0.80 is attached to that right now, and then we're multiplying. Remember, you always have to do the opposite to get rid of it. So move that 0.80 to the other side, all right? Which means you should be drawing a line like this and doing something called dividing. All right, so I'll set it up that far. You guys should be able to do the rest. Again, any questions, concerns, comments, anything, please feel free to email me, send me a message. Miss you guys. It's been good to see some of you in the Google Meets. Hopefully some of you others that join. We're not teaching in there. We're just getting together, asking questions, talking about things. So we're not going to put you under fire too much. But I miss you guys. Hope to see you soon. Have a good one.